Hello everyone, I am Dr. Mahalakshmi, educator, forensic medicine and toxicology. Now we are going to see BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. This is our IPC's replacement. If the examiner wants to really test you, if they want to convince you, if they want to make sure that you have really studied everything, what they will ask you is this BNS. They will ask you what are the sections, what is the punishment, what is the definition, like that they can ask you. And I have compiled few important BNS sections for references. So mostly if they are asking, they will be asking only these references because these are the medico-legally very significant sections. So first we will start with rape. This is must know. They will ask you what are the BNS sections for rape. So first section 63, it is for definition of rape. So 63 is definition of rape and 64 is punishment for rape. So what is rape? It is defined under 63 and next to that is punishment. Most of it would be there. There will be definition of the crime at one section and beneath that section it will be punishment for that crime. It will be usually like that only. So 63 rape definition, 64 punishment for rape. Then you have 66 which is very important. They will ask you what is it, like this is punishment for causing death or putting the victim on coma. So if the victim dies or they go into coma, the punishment is usually very severe, capital punishment will be given and that punishment it is given in section 66. So 66 is devil, right? So D for death, like that remember 66 you have the death or coma punishment. Then you have 67. After death comes the marital rape. You have the rape by husband upon his wife under separation. Then next to that is custodial. After wife you get person in authority. You have the custodial. So custodial. Then you have the 70 which is gang rape. So 70 gang rape. This is very important. So 66 and 70. 66 death, 70 is gang rape and 71 is for repeat offenders. Like if you can remember the old IPC, it will be given A, B, C, D, E, right? It is the same order. A is coma, B is with wife, like that. Like that same A, B, C, D has now given the separate sections. So you have the 67, 68, 69, 70 for gang rape, 71 for repeat offenders. If I have already studied it, this is the same order. So IPC, BNS, everything is same. You will first have definition, then you will have punishment. In the punishment, you had the subsections A, B, C, D, E that they have given here separately. So this is about sexual offences and next what you have is section 72. There it is given separately in some other section, but here they have clubbed everything together in BNS. So disclosure of identity of the victim, like if these identity are spread, like if they presented in the media, if it is said everywhere in the world, then they will be given punishment. That is coming under 72 and section 18, that is dowry death. So all the crime against women, they have given it together in the same heading. Earlier it used to be different. So this murder, dowry death and all, it will be coming along with murder. But here all the crime against women they have given together. So dowry death will also come under this. Section 70 gang rape, 80 dowry death. Clear? So 63 rape definition, 64 punishment, then you have gang rape, dowry death at 70 and 80. So we are done with the offences against women, sexual offences. Now we are going to see criminal responsibility. This is also very important. They will ask you, like if a person is 7 and less, then they are not criminally responsible. That is 21. This 21, 22, 23, all these in sequence it is important. 20 less than 7 not responsible. 7 to 12 like they are responsible if they can understand the nature of their act. So it is coming under section 21. Then after that you have the mentally insane. So this McNaughton's rule, if they don't understand the nature of their act, then they are not criminally responsible. It is set under section 22 and this is very important. And 23 intoxicated against will, 24 voluntary intoxication, then 27 this is consent and on behalf of minors and mentally ill. So, these, they don't have any valid consent. You have to get consent only from the guardian, and that consent is valid. It is coming under the section 27 of BNS. Then you have section 30, which is very important to us, that there is no consent required under emergency life-saving procedure. Like if someone is brought unconsciousness to your clinic, like they were in some accident or they were unconscious, there won't be anyone, no relative will be there to give consent on their behalf. At that time, you don't have to wait for consent. You can directly start the life-saving procedure because it is an emergency. If you don't act, the patient will die. So, under that circumstances, you should not wait for consent. But if it is not a life-threatening condition, then you have to wait for the consent. Without consent, if you treat a patient, they can put a torture case against you. It is equivalent to torture. If you don't get consent and treat the patient, it is equivalent to torture. So, this is about this section 30, which is very, very important to doctors. Next, what we have is this 81. This is cohabitation caused by man deceitfully inducing belief of lawful marriage. And 82, like this is second marriage during lifetime of husband or wife without divorcing. 83, fraud marriage. Then 84, like taking away with criminal intent and married woman, like kidnapping of a married woman. 85, subjecting to cruelty. So, you had 80 dowry death, and this 85 cruelty of the woman by husband. So, all these are offences against women. Here in this is important, 85 cruelty, subjection. This is very important. Next, what we have is this causing miscarriages. This can be asked. So, 88 is causing miscarriage, and 89 if you do it without consent. Like if you don't get consent and still you carry to do miscarriage, it is 89. If you do with consent, it is 88. This is illegal abortion. Illegal abortion. The intentionally causing abortion, this 88, and if you do it without consent, this is 89. Then 90, if the patient dies because of that miscarriage, then it will be punished under section 90. 91, if you do something to prevent the child from being born alive, like while inside the stomach you give some poison or something to kill the baby intentionally, then it will be coming under this. It is not considered as a murder, but still it will be punished under this section. And 92, causing death of a quick unborn child by act amounting to culpable homicide. If you intentionally do some act to kill that baby inside the womb, then it is considered as death in section 92. So, this 88, 89, 90, these three are important. They will ask you regarding this abortion sections. So, first is with consent, second is without consent, then finally if you lead to death. So, these 88, 89 and 90, these three are very important in this. Next, what we have is this indecent assault and sexual harassment. So, indecent assault is coming under 74. Sexual harassment is coming under 75, and disrobing, criminal disrobing is coming under 76, then voyeurism is 77, stalking is 78, then any word or act intended to insult the modesty of the woman, it is 79. Here these are very important. This indecent assault 74, harassment 75, voyeurism 77, stalking 78. So, voyeurism, it is also known as peeping Tom. It is looking at others' private moment. Stalking, it is following somebody without their consent. It is very creepy behavior. So, this is about sexual harassment and indecent sexual assault. Next is related to BNSS, which is equivalent to CRPC. So, this 227, it is giving false evidences. See, here like this false evidences, this everything will be coming under CRPC, and fabricating false evidences and punishment for false evidences, it will be coming under BNS. So, you have these sections for perjury. Next is the important section for injury. This is very important. They will ask you what is hurt, what is grievous hurt. 114 is hurt, 15 is voluntary causing hurt. 116 is grievous hurt, 117 is voluntarily causing grievous hurt. So, hurt 14, grievous hurt 116. Then you have this 125, act endangering life or personal safety of others, and 124 usage of acid, that is vitriolage. These two are important. So 124 is vitriolage and 125 any act endangering life and personal safety of others. So here these are the very important sections. So everything is given in order. The very important among is definition of hurt and grievous hurt, then this 124 which is vitriolage. Apart from that you have these 118, this is voluntarily causing hurt by dangerous weapon or means. They will ask you what is the dangerous weapon. So dangerous weapon is something that is used for killing, like your knife, your gun. So all these that can be used as an offensive weapon, everything is considered as a dangerous weapon. If you use it and voluntarily cause hurt, it is coming under 118. And if you do something to extort property, not to kill them but to extort property, then it is 119. If you do it to extort confession, more like torture, it is coming under 120. Then 121 is voluntarily causing hurt or grievous hurt to deter public servant from his duty, preventing a doctor from doing his duty. This will also be punished under this 121. And if there is any provocation and you do this, it is coming under 122. Then using of poison. You won't use any weapon but you will use poison to harm someone, that will be coming under 123. Next you have this BNSS, which is police inquest, magistrate inquest, 194, 196. Then examination of accused, 51, BNS 151. Then you have the murder and culpable homicide, 102, it is culpable homicide. 103, punishment for murder. 104, you will get life convict for murder. And 105, it is culpable homicide but not amounting to murder, that is 105. Then 106 is negligence. 107, abetment of suicide of a child or unsound mind. 108, abetment of suicide. 109 is attempt to murder. So here this 3 very important. So first is culpable homicide, murder. 103 is punishment for murder. 109 is attempt to murder. So these are the important BNS sections that we have to know. Next what we have is Act. So first is COPRA Act, that is Consumer Protection Act. So Consumer Protection Act, what we have to know, the must know points here we will be seeing. So the main objective of getting this COPRA is it is to protect the consumer right, which is safety, information, choice and redressal. They should have all these rights. They should have the right to safety, right to information, right to choice, and their redressal should be addressed. All their queries should be addressed. So to prevent all the rights of the consumer, they came up with this Consumer Protection Act, and this covers medical services that are paid. Only paid services is included. If you are going to a GH and getting treated free of cost, then it is not coming under Consumer Protection Act. But if you are going to a private hospital and you are paying for your service, then it will be covered under this Consumer Protection Act. Only free services is exempted. If you are paying, just taking a token or giving a registration fee of some 100 rupees, it will not amount to paid service. You are completely paying for your service, for all your tests, for all your treatment, medicine. If you are completely paying, then only it will be coming under this Consumer Protection Act. Next, it ensures fair trade and service practices. It has to be, everything should be fair and very, very transparent. These are the objective of this Consumer Protection Act. Now we have this jurisdiction. So jurisdiction means up to what claim level you can ask. So first, if you want to ask up to 1 crore rupees, you can address in the District Consumer Forum. You can go to District Consumer Forum and you can ask up to 1 crore. If the claim is more than 1 crore, up to 10 crore, then you have to go to State Forum. If the claim is more than 10 crore, then you have to go to the National Forum. And the main thing about Consumer Protection Act is whatever the expenses that is paid by you for doing the case, it will be repaid. Along with this fine amount, they will pay you all the expenses that you incurred while putting that case. So that is one important thing. And if you put a false case, you will be fined instead. Like if you are going and putting a case intentionally, a false case against somebody, you will be fined. So that is also one important aspect of this. And within 2 years, you have to file a complaint. You can just go after some 10 years and say that I had this issue because of this hospital or because of this product. Like that, you can't go like some 10 years away and say this. So this is one important aspect of this Consumer Protection Act. So the objective we have to know, medical services, which services is coming under this Consumer Act, and up to which year we can put a complaint, and what is the fine amount and the respective forum where we can represent, and this complaint, false complaint, and the price that incurred for putting that case. Everything will be covered under this Consumer Protection Act. Next, what we are going to see is Mental Health Act. So Mental Health Act, this recent amendment and all, it was done according to this UN Convention on Rights of Person with Disability. Like even the people with mental disability and physical disability, they should have their own rights and it should not be taken away from them. With that in mind, they came up with this new amendments on this Mental Health Care Act. So according to this, they should have all the rights and they should decriminalize suicide attempts. So suicide attempt because of any mental disability, if they are opting for any suicide or anything, they should not be punished. Instead, they should be given proper treatment. So that is one important aspect of this new Healthcare Act. Then they should have right to assess the proper treatment. They should be able to get treated properly and they should have the right to confidentiality. Nobody should be able to know about their medical history. Their complete medical history, mental health, everything should be kept under complete confidentiality, and they should have the right to not be institutionalized unless needed. Like unless they are harmful, unless the relatives and the court find them harmful, you should not institutionalize them. If they themselves come and ask them to be admitted, then you can do it. After proper examination, if you find fit, the doctor can admit them in the institute. But if somebody is giving complaint, if the neighbor is giving complaint that I want to admit him, like that, you cannot simply admit him. Like if he says that I am okay, and if the doctor is also saying that he need not to be institutionalized, then he should not be kept in the hospital unless required or court order is given. So this is the important thing. Only when necessary, he should be hospitalized. And advance directive and nominative representative. Like when they are in this lucid interval, when they are having this normal period, they can make an advance directive that what should be done if he becomes mentally disabled again. Like if he goes into that mental disorder again, what should be done? Like what should be the treatment given? Who should take after him? Who should be the guardian? Every directive can be as a will, it can be made by the person when he is in his lucid interval. So this is your advance directive. They can plan everything when they are sane, and that directive can be followed when they are not able to take a decision because of that mental disability. And they can also nominate a guardian or a representative for themselves. And there should be one mental health review board. There should be a mental health review board. This board, it will approve all the treatment that needs to be done. This will approve whether the patient needs to be hospitalized or not. So everything should be monitored by this mental health review board. And this electroconvulsion therapy, this electrical therapy, it should be done only if necessary. And it should be done under anesthesia and with proper precaution. Only after taking all these, you should be doing this ECT. Without taking all the precaution, you should not do the ECT. So these are the important amendments that we have to know in Mental Health Care Act. So first is this decriminalization of suicide attempt, and this right to confidentiality and right to not be institutionalized unless needed, and this advance directive and nominated representative, and this usage of ECT in the patients with mental disability. So this is about Mental Health Care Act. Now what we are going to see is TOTA. This is transplantation of human organs and tissues. Transplantation of Human Organs and Tissue Act. So, this act, it came up with all the guidelines that is needed for transplantation. So, what is that? It deals with all the removal, storage and transplantation of organs and tissues. Not just organs, even the tissues like your blood, or taking away part of the organ like bone marrow. All these will be covered under this act only. Initially, it was covering only the organs, but now it has been amended to include tissues also. And commercial trading has been completely banned. You cannot go and ask for these commercial organs. You cannot have people commercially traded for getting these transplant organs. And brain death is declared to be a legal form of death. And this brain death should be certified by a board of doctors. And proper consent must be taken before donation. There should be a proper consent. Without consent, you cannot take organs. There should be proper transparency and reporting in the all the donors and the transplant people. So, there should be transparency, and only registered hospitals can do this. Not everybody can perform a transplantation surgery. Only the registered hospital can perform this, and living donor can donate only to near relatives. Okay, so living donor, sometimes you can give kidney, part of liver, bone marrow, something like this. So, they can donate only to the near relatives, so that commercial trading can be avoided. And if you are getting donation from an unrelated donor, that will also be done only after the approval of the authorization committee. Only after the committee's approval, you can proceed for transplantation. They will do all sort of enquiries to make sure that this is not a commercial donation. They will completely make sure that nobody is exploited for their organs. So, all these technicalities, it is covered under this Transplantation of Human Organ and Tissues Act. So, with this, we are ending this video. Thank you for watching.